I'm working on a marvelous monster that eats cars and smells like a fish.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Kajun Towboater Reviews. My name is Bo, aka the Kajun Towboater, and today we have a review for you. And it is the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Finster from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV show. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box. Alright, as you can see, we got Finster inside. We got his little clay sculpting tools. We got his mini putties that he puts in and it spits out the bigger putties. We got the artwork on the side. It's kind of cat-cornered and all of that, but I do like the artwork. We got the figure being posed on the back with all of his tools and his briefcase and the putty figures. We got the artwork again on the side. And I will have pictures at the end of the video showing the box off as well. So let's go ahead and get Finster out of the box and take a look at him. Alright, y'all, here he is out of the box. As you can see, he comes with an extra set of hands, some accessories that go on his apron. He's got his little magnifying glass so he can fine-tune the putties that go in this little briefcase to press. He basically puts the clay and then closes it and then presses them into putties. Putties with boulder hands or rock points for their hands, like swords. He also comes with this little sculptor to help press and get the clay off that he needs to come off to sculpt the putties and monsters and all of that. But Finster is one of Rita Repulsa's generals. He's basically her scientific advisor and main monster maker. He's known as a demon artist. Now, a little background on Finster. He was a sculptor on the planet Cladius, and he grew tired of his peaceful and quiet existence. After falling in love with the beauty of grotesque things, he started creating monstrous beast statues that terrorized his village with fires. Once his wife found out that he was responsible, she was going to expose him. He grabbed her, and there was a struggle, and in the struggle, she fell back and hit her head on a table and ended up dying. Once Rita found out, she used his grief against him and gave him magical clay that could come to life and made him her monster maker, like hired him on as her monster maker. He also tried to sculpt the statue of his wife with that clay, but he kept being reminded of the horrible things he did to his actual wife, that he took an axe to the clay and just destroyed it. He couldn't bring his wife back to life. But once Lord Zed arrived, he became obsolete. He was no longer creating the monsters and stuff like that because Lord Zed could create them himself. But once Rita landed back on the moon, he created a love potion when Lord Zed went into his sleep, and Lord Zed fell in love with Rita, and they ended up getting married, and Finster ended up being the priest or officiant of the wedding. He also built Louis Kaboom in the Zeo series, Power Rangers Zeo, which was made to destroy the Machine Empire. But going into the comics and things like that, according to the graphic novel Soul of Destruction, he was purified by Zordon's wave, and he became an actual artist and stuff like that, working. And once Scorpina, who was purified, went back to her evil ways, Tommy went to his help, and he went undercover. And when Scorpina found out, she killed Finster. So Tommy found that out by a sculpt of the statue that Finster left, and told him everything, and told him that he needed to save, that Tommy needed to save his son, and only Tommy could do it. And then the statue deteriorated. In the Boom comics, in the Shattered Dimension comics, he is known as Finster 5. Basically, Finster was damaged, and Lord Draken repaired him with parts of Alpha 5. And when Finster 5 was trying to get Lord Draken not to do the things he was doing anymore, you tell him he could be good and not evil, and that he apologized for his doing in it. Draken thanked him for his friendship and then snapped his neck. And in another universe, when Lord Zed created his Dark Rangers, Finster ended up being the Dark Pink Ranger. And those designs for those suits were actually pretty cool. I have no complaints about those comics or anything like that. I love the way they did it. But let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the accessories. Take a look at the extra hands. And I was actually wondering about these little things where it looks like little sprouts coming from his hands. In the Super Sentai, his species is known as Leprechauns, like with a P, like leprechaun with a P. So maybe it has something to do with his species. These little things, they just look like they're attached to his gloves in the show. That's his other hand. He has no fist or anything. It's just gripping hands, and this is to carry the briefcase. Now he has good sculpt with his little bandana. He's got his glasses. With this briefcase, we can go ahead. He's got the little putties. They're tiny, so you really don't want to lose these. And it closes, but after a while, this plastic's gonna end up breaking. So you don't want to have it closed or keep opening and closing it. So the design of Finster is actually pretty good. He can actually turn. The bottom of his apron is not connected to the top, which is good because you got more articulation. He's holding his little sculpting tool, which I can take that out right now. His mouth can open and close, which is good. I love how they did a different white for his beard and the top of his head. I mean, he kind of looks like a Scottish Terrier a little bit. His ears, he's got the little dreads or whatever you want to call them, all in a little ponytail, or that's his head, I'm not sure. But even like what's growing off his hands, he has on his ears, as you can tell. And here's this little sculpting thing. Now, you have to take his head off to put this on around his neck and then put his head back on. I mean, from the creases and the wrinkles in his apron, I mean, it looks great. The figure looks great. I have no complaints about it. He does have butterfly joints, which surprisingly move very easily, even with the little shoulder pads, as you can tell. His hand, he's got single jointed elbows. And there you go. Let's see his head. I can't look up much. Can look down like that, side to side. You can do a full 360 on his head. Even the sculpting and the painting on his tools that are on the figure itself right here are pretty good. He's got single jointed knees. That's about as far as the articulation gets on that for both knees. He does have the thigh swivel. He's got the ankle pivot. He does have an ankle swivel as well. And he is very easy to stand up and pose. He's a very, very, very good simple figure. He's got an ab crunch, which is good with the apron not being connected. These little tools, like I said, they go in his apron. Go ahead and take that out. That's his little putty press, his clay press. And I got this one where you can help and scrape up the clay and start flattening and smoothing it out. And besides his hands and the 3 little tools in the suitcase with the putties, that is the only accessories you have. I do like that his mouth opens and closes, because Finster was one of the ones that I loved the voice actor they got for him for Power Rangers, because I mean he sounded like an old wise sculptor, and even though he was evil, he was a good character. I mean, he made some monsters that we all loved. So, but overall, I mean, I give this figure, I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, the glasses move. You want to make sure that you don't bend or break or do anything with that. I mean, I give this figure an 8.5 out of 10. It's that good of a figure. It's not perfect, but it's that good of a figure. The design and everything. And I'm glad we got a figure that's actually a non-fighter. Well, besides in the comic books, but overall, like I said, 8.5 with this figure. It's pretty good. All right. Well, if you like this video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you look in the corners, you'll see my Facebook and Instagram. You can search for me on Facebook or Instagram under Kajun Towboater Reviews. You can message me on there. Let me know any figures you would like to see me review. Let me know what you liked about this figure. Let me know what you didn't like about this figure. And as always, I will see y'all in the next video.